Guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have update number 2 or 3. You guys will see it in the title for my Panda palette. And overall, I'm pretty happy with my progress this month. I'm filming a little bit early, so I could have made a tiny bit more progress, but I don't think it would have made a huge difference in like the bigger steps that I've managed to make with my palettes. As you guys know, I'm still working on 3 palettes, 2 from last year and 1 that I rolled in this year. So let's take a look at them, starting off with the one that is closest to being done, my LA Colors palette in Lush. I was really hoping to have that blue shade done by now, but let's take a look at where that one was at last time. Not a huge amount of product left, but I'm trying to focus on a fair bit of eyeshadows and I just didn't feel like wearing blue every single day. And that made me end up here. So as you can see, I am very close and my nails need to be done again. But I didn't completely get there, which is fine by me. It would have been nice if this palette would have been gone during the first quarter of this year, because of course in a couple of days we're going in the next quarter and I'm going to be filming an update on the makeup products I want to finish this year. I would have wanted to be able to say that this one was gone. It's not. But that's fine because I know within the next month this one will be done. So I'm okay with that. We'll survive. And if you guys have seen my recent Get Ready With Me video with some serious but also some exciting updates, you guys know I will be moving in 2 months from now, very soon, back to the Netherlands, and anything that I don't have to bring with me, this hopefully being one of the products is a nice to have. So yeah, moving on again to the Smoky Eyes trio from Bourjois in Nude Engineer. Let's take a quick look at where that one was at last time. And for this one, I've mainly just been trying to hit side pan on the dark brown shades. And well, this is where we are right now. And I know from this angle it looks like we're pretty much there. From like my angle, I can see that there still is the tiniest bit of product left. It started to crumble a little bit and I managed to still work with most of it, but a tiny bit fell on the floor and I just lost it in my carpets that I have near my desk here. So yeah, I lost a little bit, but most of it I was still able to use. And I just didn't get there, as you can hopefully see in the close-up. I know now though that next month there will be side pan on this one, but it is surprising how slowly this product is actually moving, considering like I hit pan on it and it started to expand and now it just seems to take forever until I get anywhere with it. But I do feel like the pan is expanding also kind of in the other direction than the one that I'm like most actively working on, so I guess we'll survive. Then the middle brown shade I haven't used once again, but I'm okay with that because I think I should be able to start incorporate that like easily enough with some of the other stuff that I have in my Panda palette and other places as well. But I shouldn't wait too long considering how long it's taking me to get through that dark brown that I've been quite actively working on for a good while now. So yeah, that is this palette. Actually, the dark brown I have used a total of 11 times over the last month, so that's not bad. I used it 14 times before, so 25 uses so far this year, not in total on this palette because for some reason I didn't count my uses yet before this year. The blue shade I've used a total of 12 times and I used it 12 times before, so 24 times since we started the Panda palette on the like the half throughout January basically. So yeah, that's that one. Then the Amuse Palette is my main palette of this year, and this one, well, let's take a look at where that one was at last time. I had some goals. I think my main goal was to try and hit pan on the white and the pink shade, and this is where we are right now with that one. As you can see, there definitely is pan on the pink and for sure on the white. Half the white shade is gone pretty much at this point. And I hit bonus pan in the gray shade, which I wasn't expecting yet. So also very exciting, which has brought up my pan percentage a fair bit as well. But slowly but surely these shades will start disappearing and those pans don't count anymore towards my pan percentage. But we'll survive. Anyway, let's go through them, going from like that way, starting off with the white. With the white, I have used that one an additional 26 times over the last month. I have a mark in the middle because after 11 uses I hit pan, and then an additional 6 uses made a fair bit of that pan appear, as you could see. Pretty excited about that for sure. I used it 38 times before, so 38 plus 26, I have to do so much maths today, is 64, if I'm correct. So 64 uses on that guy, and I think probably not one more update, but 2 more updates, and I should be very close to finishing that one, if not completely done, so that is very exciting. The dark grey, I wasn't specifically trying to hit pan on, but because I went to Barcelona for a couple of days this month, this was my main palette that I brought with me, and the dark grey is the darker shade in here, so I used that in my outer corner and as my eyeliner. And throughout those 5 days, I hit pan on that shade. So I have used it a total of 5 times before I hit pan on it, and then 1 more time after that, so 6 times in total. I did not have any uses on this one yet before. That cannot be right. Okay, I feel like I've used this more than just the 6 times, but I didn't make a note of that. I don't know. Yeah, like I definitely used it before I threw it in the Tiff project already in the dark grey. Like when I was using this palette before, it just was my main dark color, so that's what I used in my crease most of the time in my outer corner. So yeah, that's the grey shade. Then the orange, as you can see, that is moving quite nicely as well, or the peachy shade. This one I've used 8 times over the last month. I used it mainly as my transition shade as well when I just had this palette to use because it's a nice lighter shade. And I used it 6 times before, so I've used this a total of 14 times throughout this year so far, and it is moving along nicely. So also this one, I'm hoping that in 2 to 3 updates will be completely gone already as well. Then we have the green shade. The green shade is kind of my focus shade at the moment. Once I hit pan on the pink shade, I moved to that one. And I have used it 9 times over the last month. I used it 2 times before, but then I also wanted to use the shadows that are in the panner's pan, or mainly the one shadow that I rolled in for Paula there. So I wasn't focusing on this all the time because I didn't feel like pairing it with the purplish shade that's on my lid right now. So there is a little bit of a pan starting to form in there, or a dip I should say, but no pan just yet. I've used that one a total of 11 times right now throughout this project. Then the red shade I have used 2 times, and I've used it once before, so 3 uses in total. I already hit pan on that one before, so that is nothing major. Then for the yellow shade, I have used the yellow shade 6 times over the last month. 3 times before, so 9 in total, and for that one I've mainly just been expanding the pan a little bit, especially this month with the 6 uses. You would be able to see hopefully that that pan is a little bit bigger right now. Then the blue, I haven't used loads yet either, because of course I'm still working on the LA Colors blue, but I did use it once this month, which was also, I believe, the first time, yep, that I've used it at all so far, so 1 use on the blue. We'll get to that at some point. The pinkish shade, as I said, that was my main focus next to the white to hit pan on this month. I was close. There was a good dip in this one already, but I used it a total of 3 more times before I hit pan on it, and then 2 more times after that. So 23 uses for pan and 25 uses in total at this point. Happy enough about that. It's a bit of a cool tone pink, so not my favorite, but I'm fine to be working with it. And there's plenty of warmer shades in here or other things that I can do with this, so it's okay. And then a darker red, also that one is one that I use a little bit more in my outer corner, crease, darkening up stuff way. And that one I have used a total of 3 times as well over the last month. Yep, and 4 times before that, so 7 in total. And I feel like there's a nice bit of a dip starting to form in there as well, so I'm kind of hoping that maybe I can hit pan on that one as well over the next month, and that would mean that I would hit pan on the dark red and green shade, which would give me pan on all the eyeshadows in here, which would be pretty exciting because then I can start to actively focus on finishing off some shades as well. And then the blush I have used as well. I've used the blush 8 times, used it 4 times before, so 12 times in total. I do see a lot of powder kicking up every time I use it, but then when I look at the blush as a whole, it doesn't look overly used yet, which is fine, it's a blush, so of course it's going to take me a little bit longer than 12 uses to get the pan or something close to that. But yeah, slowly but surely working on that one as well. And those were the palettes, so now my goals for next time are to, at the very least, finish off this blue shade in the LA Colors palette. I will most definitely hit side pan on the dark brown shade in my Bourjois trio as well. And then, like I said, I'm kind of hoping to hit pan on both the green and the dark red shade in my Amuse palette. And I'm hoping to make some really nice progress on the white and the peachy shade as well. So hopefully I can kick them out maybe next month, but at the very least the month after that. That would be really good. So yeah, hopefully we'll have pan in all the eyeshadows by next time. And I think that is it for now. Of course, I have a little slideshow coming right after, so you can see the progress that I've made on these palettes so far. And yeah, that's it for now. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Bye bye!